for example, Laura, please close the door. I am telling you to close the door in the present. This is something that I am telling you. But then, for example, if after class, Laura is talking to Gisbertis, she can tell her, for example, the teacher told me, or the teacher said to close the door. So that is reported speech. In this case, I am talking about something that was asked or that I said in the past, that about something that someone else said. So the most common verbs that we use for reporting requests or for reporting a speech are ask, tell, and say. And the three of them are used in the past tense to match, of course, the past action. Like in the examples that we see here in the book, we see that the original request is arrive on time for the meeting. So for example, if I tell you, you guys that are right now in the meeting, if I tell you, okay guys, so please arrive on time for the meeting tomorrow, I am telling you right now. But then if you want to talk to someone, if you're talking to someone that was not in the meeting and you want to tell them what I said, you will be using reported speech. You will be saying it in the past. So if I tell you, okay guys, please arrive on time for the meeting tomorrow, and then you are talking to, for example, Santo that is not in the meeting, or Tomas, you can, for example, if Rafael is going to talk to Tomas, he is going to say, Tomas, the teacher said in the past, the teacher said to arrive on time for the meeting tomorrow. So he is basically reporting what I said in here right now to someone that didn't listen, or to someone that wasn't there in the moment when I said that. So for example, again, when we are using reported speech, we are using it to say something that was asked in the past. So again, we will be using, the most verbs that we use are ask, tell, and say, and these verbs we are going to be using it in the past. So if the original request in the present is arrive on time for the meeting, the reported speech will be she said to arrive on time for the meeting. She told me to arrive on time for the meeting. Said and told are in the past. So for example, if I say, if you are going to the doctor and the doctor tells you, to you specifically, drink this pill 2 times a day, and then I ask you, okay, Ruth, so what did the doctor say? Ruth is going to use the reported speech to tell me what she talked about with the doctor. So she's gonna be saying, the doctor said to drink this pill 2 times a day. That's the reported speech. If we are, for example, in the classroom and the teacher says, don't be late for class again. In this case, we are doing a negative sentence. We are using don't. So for the reported speech, we are going to be using not to. So you can, for example, if you are in the class and I say, don't be late for class again, and you are going to talk to someone that was not in the class, and they ask, okay, so what did the teacher say? You are going to use the reported speech, saying, she said not to be late for class again. So instead of don't, we will be using not to. So these are also 2 things that we need to take into consideration when using reported speech. The first one is that the 3 verbs, remember that I said that the most common verbs are ask, tell, and say. So these verbs are followed by an infinitive. Remember that the infinitives are, for example, to call, to drink, to dance. These are infinitive. To call, to drink, to dance, etc. These are infinitives. So for example, all these three verbs, asked, asked me, told me, said, we are going to use it with the infinitive. To call. She asked me to call. She told me to call. She said to call her. So notice how we say she asked me, she told me, you can say she asked you, and so on, but you cannot say said me or she said you. If you're gonna mention this, like the you, the object, you need to say ask or told. But with said, all you do is to put the infinitive. So we can say she asked me to call you, she said to call you. And then the other thing is that in a negative request, in the negative reported request, we are going to use not before the infinitive. So you can say the coach asked or told me not to miss practice again, like we did in here. We said the original request was don't be late for class again, and the reported is she said not to be late for class again. This is the same examples that we have in the book. We have again for another negative statement. We say don't leave your bike in the apartment hallway. So the reported request will be he said not to leave my bike in the hallway. He told me not to leave my bike in the hallway. Then we have, can you pick up some food on the way home? This is a request. So the reported request, she asked me to pick up some food. It's not that super hard of a topic. So this is basically what we saw on the first part of the unit. Do you guys have any questions regarding this before we start doing the exercise? Guys, do you have any questions?
I don't know.
Okay, so I am going to give you an exercise for you to complete. Let me send it on Telegram. And you guys let me know when you are done with this exercise. So on this exercise, we are using the reported speech as request again. Remember that you cannot, that for example, you can say ask her, for example, she asked me to call. You can say she told me to call, but you cannot say she said me. She said me, or she said you, or she said him. It's incorrect. If you're gonna say said, you don't put another verb and you say she said to call.
After the say is that okay.
Exactly.
The pronoun is only with told and
We're told and asked. Yes. Exactly.
okay.
So let me go ahead and send you this. Okay. So before you start working on that, have that in mind. Also remember that if the original request, in the original request you are saying don't, like you have a negative, on the reported speech you are going to be saying not to, because you want to use the infinitive. Remember that for For this one, for the reported speech, we are using the infinitive verbs. So she asked me to call. She asked me to drink. She told me to dance. She told me not to, etc. So you guys work on that and you let me know when it's finished.